Welcome in, everyone. In this video today, we will be taking a 70 overall roster and seeing how long it takes to win a Super Bowl. But there's a catch. After each win, we will be taking a position group from this wheel right here, whatever team we beat. So, for example, let's say we beat the Cincinnati Bengals and we spin the wheel, we land on special teams. We get their special teams, their kicker, their punter, etc. Let's say we land on quarterback, we get to take Joe Burrow. Got it? Great. Now let's hop into it and choose our team. All right, so this wheel will determine what team we start out with. Got the New Orleans Saints. So let's bring that over to Madden and get this sim started. All right, we're back into Madden. Check out this roster. And aside from a few young players, I gutted this roster completely. We really need that first win bad, and it's going to be really tough because this team is not built to win any games. Sim through week one just to see what the score ends up being, and then after that I'll be simming and resuming after each win. So I'll see you in a bit. Here we go. After week one, we're into week two, and it was a lot closer than I thought. We only lost to Carolina by 20. Granted, it's the Carolina Panthers, but still 20 points for this roster. It seems like they'd lose by a lot more. Without further ado, I'll get to simming, and I'll be back when we win our first game. Or if we go 0-16, we'll see. We're back, and we won our first game against the Carolina Panthers. Let's see what the stats look like. Rattler with a touchdown, no picks, 195. This looked like an awful game to watch. 20-17 win. We are now 1-8 on the season, and let's move to that position wheel to see who we're taking from the Panthers. Here we are with our wheel. Let's see who we get. Cornerbacks. We're getting the cornerbacks for the Carolina Panthers. Let's check that out. So here we go. Here's our new defense. We got J.C. Horn and Kool-Aid next to each other on the outside. Not a massive upgrade, but a solid cornerback room developing. Just to reiterate, we'll be taking the top 3 players from that position group that we get. So I took the top 3 corners and added them to our team and added 3 of our corners to their team. So that's how it's going to work for the rest of the sim. So here we go. I'll keep simming. I'll be back for win number 2. Here we are. After the final week of the season, we only have that lone win against the Panthers, netting us their cornerback room. With this, we will most likely have the number 1 pick, probably guaranteed. And I'm all hands off for this. I'm just simulating, and we'll see who we draft, and hopefully that could propel the team to another at least 2 wins next season. Because the guys on the roster now aren't getting any younger, so I'll be back for the draft, and I'll let y'all know who we select, or who the assistant GM selects. And in regards to the offseason, we'll pretty much be rolling over the same roster year after year. We're not going to make new additions in free agency. Obviously, it's just very hands-off. So we will keep the roster filler that's already on the team and continue that way. In this mock draft, they have us picking Abdul Carter number 1, Travis Hunter all the way down at 5. So we'll see. We'll see how this turns out. So we did end up drafting Abdul Carter number 1 overall, which is crazy. But with a lot of 70s we found in the draft, this will really help us fill out significant holes in the roster that need a little bit of bolstering. So here we go. I'll come back with the roster and get ready for Simmon Season 2. All right, so here's our roster after going into year 2. It's still really bad. We do have Donovan Edwards, Stewart out of Oregon, Warren out of Penn State. A lot of rookies starting on the O-line and on offense. Do have Abdul Carter, Bowman, safety out there. So a decent amount of upgrades in the draft, but this roster is still trash. Really hope we could get that first win early so we could really get rolling. Here we are, week 18, still not won a game yet. Let's see if week 18 is our first win. Nope, we lost 24-17, so we go season winless. I mean, we did get the number 1 pick in the draft going 0-17, but on the bright side, a lot of our players are getting much better, so I'm thinking next season we'll be able to stack up some wins, especially after another number 1 overall pick. And I apologize, last season I didn't go through the stats. Let me show y'all the stats for season 2. Spencer Rattler, 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, 29 picks. Rushing, Donovan Edwards, 3 yards per carry, 3.3 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns on the season is crazy. Receiving, Evan Stewart, not a bad rookie season, but here we go. Here are the rest of the stats. How did our boy Abdul Carter do? Only 3 sacks. Not a great season. Hopefully he could develop. I did see that he became a superstar, so that's huge. We really need to start stacking up some wins. Here's our roster going into the draft. Obviously, I can't target anyone, but just wanted to show y'all what the roster looks like. Abdul Carter did become a superstar, so that's huge. I'll see y'all after the draft. Updates: Seahawks beat the Ravens 35-6 in the Super Bowl. I wonder, biggest score differentials in the Super Bowl we've ever seen. That's wild. So we obviously ended up with the first pick in the draft. Bears there at number 2. Honestly, I really wish they would just pick this quarterback. That would make things go a lot quicker. But if this right tackle DeVoe is a dog, then I'll definitely take it. So let's see who we get. Draft recap here. We ended up getting DeVoe, that number one overall, that right tackle, 74. Ooh, we got a 75 overall receiver too. So solid draft, still filling out the roster, kind of raising that floor a little bit. So I will be back with the roster going into season 3. So here's a quick look at our roster going into season 3. We got a lot of guys outside that I'm excited for. Might even move Cunningham up to that wide receiver 3 with that hidden dev. We got a lot of young receivers, good tight end, that number 1 pick at O-line, and our defense is starting to come together a little bit. Brees is going up to an 84. He's a superstar, which was crazy. We got Carter, solid pass rush. Corners look decent. Hopefully we could pick up some wins and really get the wins going, really get this roster upgraded. So I'll be back hopefully after our first win in season 3. Here we go, almost our first win in almost 2 full seasons. Spencer Rattler balled out, 303, nothing going rushing. Raiders have Shedeur, that's cool. There we go, finally we get our first win of the season, our first in over 2 years. Let's get to that wheel to see what position group we'll be stealing from the Raiders. Here we go, here's our wheel. Let's see who we get. Honestly, anyone except for cornerbacks. Wide receiver, tight end. Does that mean Brock Bowers is coming? Let's go. We get wide receiver and tight end room. Unless any massive trades have been made, that means Brock Bowers is coming to the team. That's huge. And here's what our roster looks like with those new additions. Our receiver room definitely upgraded, even though it's still not the greatest. Couple 80s now, and we got those hidden devs down there. Receiver room definitely looks like it's on the way up, for sure. And then Brock Bowers, 92 overall, obviously the best player on our team. Gonna be a massive help, and our receiver room is definitely much improved. So let's keep simming and see if we could upgrade another position group. And our second win of the season comes to the Carolina Panthers again. 2 of our 3 wins coming against them. So let's go to the wheel. And because we already took the cornerback room from Carolina, if we land on it again, we got to respin. So that's the only tile we cannot land on. Quarterback, running back. Ooh, that was close. We really need a quarterback. We'll definitely take running back. Here's our new running back room. We got Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks. Donovan Edwards, salute to you, brother. Good luck on your new squad. I think one of the only things missing from us starting to roll off wins is quarterback, so I'm really excited about this running back room, see what it can do. I'll be back for win number 3 on the season, hopefully. So we end off the season with 2 wins, a lot of closer games in that last stretch of the season. With this roster being as young as it is, and with all the new upgrades that we got, I can't see us being this bad again next season, especially with a top draft pick inbound. 2-15, doubled our season high. Here's our roster going into the draft. Running back room set, tight end set. We could use a lot of upgrades on the O-line. Obviously, quarterback, wide receivers, we could use a little bit of a boost, but it's solid. Defense, all back here, safeties, linebackers, and some D linemen too. So a lot of upgrades still to come, but hopefully we could get a good draft pick and our assistant GM could cook and get it either a lineman, a quarterback, or any of these defensive positions, to be honest, aside from Carter and Brees and our corners. I almost forgot again. Let's check out the stats. Not that too interesting. Rattler, I mean, we kind of know what we're going to get out of him. Just mid. Isn't the worst, but we definitely need to upgrade quarterback. Chuba with almost 1,000 yards. Receiving wise, a lot of good production out of Pierce, Myers, Bowers. Should be better next season, but I think that might be because we traded for him midway through. I'm not sure. Defensively, Abdul Carter kind of underperforming, not going to lie, but high overall, but still just not really performing in the sack department. Interceptions, JC's balling out. Defense definitely needs to upgrade. Does not help that the linebackers and rest of the D-line suck, so hopefully these guys could get better. They're still young, still room to develop, so let's get into the draft. So we have the number 1 pick, obviously, again, and they have us picking this cornerback, which I really hope they don't go with a cornerback. That right end would be really nice. Same with that quarterback. Honestly, any of these guys aside from maybe even a wide receiver too, 6'5", we need a big body. We just need a number one receiver. Yeah, just not a cornerback. Anybody but a cornerback. We did end up picking that cornerback, so our cornerback room is going to be stacked. I don't know if we really needed another cornerback, but our cornerback room is going to be stacked for a while. Decent draft, still filling out that floor of our roster, so I'll be back and show you all the roster going into year number 4. Here we go into year 4. Look at our roster. So our offense hasn't changed that much, but we got a lot of decent overalls with Bowers and Hubbard holding it down. Receiver room a little mid, but it's definitely solid. We really just need to upgrade that quarterback and interior O-line position. Then our offense, I think, could be really nice. On the defensive side, we got a lot of star power, a couple superstars. I moved Carr up to strong safety and Howden over to free safety, so we got a decent squad over here. I think we're just a few wins away from really being a powerhouse on both offense and defense. So, without further ado, I'll be back after our first win of Season 4. All right, we are back, and we beat the Carolina Panthers again. So there we go. After an 0-5 start, being at an 83 overall, I kind of was past the we should probably expect to lose every game category, and felt like we should have won a few more games than we did, but 1-5, and we beat the Carolina Panthers, so let's go to the wheel. Seems like we're turning into the New Orleans Panthers here, but let's see. We are taking the D-line of the Carolina Panthers, so let's see what we're up against here. Now that we look at that defense, our defensive line is looking absolutely stacked. Same with our cornerback room. Our linebackers are kind of coming together. I changed up the scheme a little bit, so that's why it looks a little different. Linebackers still are kind of trash, but safeties aren't terrible. Corners are good, and D-line looks awesome. Hopefully, that could spark us to rattle off a few more wins here. There we go. We finally beat a team that's not the Carolina Panthers. It is the New England Patriots. We win 28-26. Crazy game here. Chuba Hubbard went off for our standards. 4.9 a carry, 1 touchdown, 78 yards. Drake May outplayed Spencer by a lot, but somehow we were able to come through in the end. That moves us up to 2-8. Time for another wheel spin. Quarterback would be huge. Running back, that's not what we needed. There was some real potential there, but all right, let's add some running backs from New England and see how it improved our team. Maybe we can move some things around and see what happens. All right, so not a crazy addition. We added Ray Davis to the roster, 83 overall, so I don't need to see it. He'll probably be a backup for us. But let's continue, and I'll be back for our potentially 3rd win of the season, breaking a new record. In back-to-back wins, we take down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20-17. Now let's hop over to that wheel to see what we get. I'm excited. Once again, if we could get quarterback, I assume they still have Baker, probably an old Baker, but a good Baker nonetheless. So let's see what we get. Or wide receiver would be kind of nice too. Quarterback. Yes. All right, so they don't have Baker, but they potentially someone even better in the long run. Alec Callahan out of Texas, a rookie, 22 years old, 78 overall, decent stats for a QB. I think he's a star dev to start, so we'll definitely take that. He'll be our QB of the future for sure. We'll take that. Spencer, you will be missed. You've served us valiantly over the past few years, but Alec Callahan, welcome to the squad. Here we go. Here's our roster now that we got. We did get that Ray Davis pickup, but that was a pretty marginal one. But Alec Callahan from the Buccaneers is huge. We got our QB of the future. We got Brock Bowers, decent amount of weapons to throw him to. Definitely looking to get a receiver sometime soon, but I think this could manage, but the O-line is probably the biggest concern. Then defensively, we look pretty decent with that dominant looking front three with really good corners on the outside with our first overall pick last year and some decent safeties. I think it may be time to start rattling off wins, but we'll see. I'll be back. So once again, we beat up on the Carolina Panthers. Let's see who we pick up from their squad. So we can't get D-line or running backs or cornerbacks. There we go. There's some linebackers. All right, so I'll go back to Madden and put those linebackers on our squad and see what we're working with on defense. So with those additions, we added a decent amount of depth in our linebacking core. We added Dillard and we added Wallace. Not too much. Dillard is a rookie, so that'll be nice. Got a lot of depth here now with our draft pick as well. So linebacking core, slight upgrades. Defense is starting to come together. So even in a season with 4 wins, I see a lot of promise going forward. I feel like next year could be our year. To wrap up season 4, we finished 4-13, doubling our wins from last year and already getting more than we did the last 3 seasons combined. So definitely good looks going forward. Alec Callahan, decent rookie season. 27 bigs is crazy, but he was traded in the middle of the season, so that definitely had something to do with it, but he's not afraid to sling the rock around. But 3,827 touchdowns, will take that, I guess, for a rookie year. Chuba with a decent year. Receiving-wise, decent guys across the board. Brock's really got to pick it up. Only 503. Come on, man. Sack-wise, spread out across the board. Derek Brown was a huge pickup for us. Interception-wise, 3 interceptions, or rookie from last year. 3 interceptions, J.C. Horn. Defense was flying around. I like to see that. Our guy Alec Callahan winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Love to see it. And Sean Carr getting 3rd in Defensive Rookie of the Year. So awesome looks for us. I just thought it was funny looking at the team rankings at the end of the season. Our pass yards per game, we were locked down. Our corners have been locking it down since day one, but literally in every other defensive stat, we were last in the league pretty much. Same with offense, but hopefully year 2 rookie quarterback, we get those numbers up. So we are officially not the worst team in the league anymore. We have the 3rd overall pick. They have us taking DeMarco Nicholas, which I really hope they don't pick a D lineman, but holy, I guess all of the top 6 picks are D linemen, so that's what we got to expect here. But I was hoping for a linebacker. Maybe we pick up Hugh Norwood if he falls, but let's see. Let's see how this draft pans out and what our roster looks like going into season number 5. So this probably is our worst draft so far. We pick up a right end and 2 tight ends and a left end, all of which under like a 72 or under. This draft is cheeks. That draft was a huge disappointment. So with approximately 0 of those rookies making it into the starting lineup, this is what our roster looks like in year 4 or year 5. With Callahan, Hubbard, who dropped a lot in overall. He was an 88, dropped all the way down to an 82. Wide receivers kind of staying around the same, 84s, low 80s, 78 for Myers, and Brock Bowers holding it down at a 93. Offense, we definitely need to pick up the pace here and get at least wide receivers, running backs, or an O-line. Defensively, I kind of like where we're at. Our corners are nasty, our D-line's nasty, but we really need to it would be nice to get some upgrades at linebacker and safety, but I think the real focus is offense here. We really need a line and some receivers. With that out of the way, I will be back for our first win of season 5. And at this point, with us being at an 84 overall, I really hope we could at least make some noise in terms of the playoff picture. We're no longer at that 70 range, so we gotta be expecting better here this season. All right, there we go. We start off our season with a win against the Chargers. Let's move over to that wheel to see what we steal. Safeties, that's definitely an upgrade that is a welcome one for sure. Not a bad pickup here. We pick up an aging Derwin James, still 87 overall, big upgrade on that free safety spot. I'll be back for our next win. And we beat the Panthers again. What is that now? 4 times we beat the Panthers? Let's head over to that wheel and see what we get. At this point, I don't even remember what we still need or what we can't have from the Panthers, but wide receiver, O-line, you know what? We'll take it. We need some linemen out here. All right, so we got some big upgrades to our O-line with these 3 big boys in the middle, and I really think that we're ready to win at this point. Our offense looks decent, maybe another receiver upgrade. I think that's all we really need on offense. And defense, our linebackers got that upgrade, and we got Derwin James out there, so some marginal upgrades now, maybe some more superstars, and I really think we're ready to win. And going forward, I'll be back with significant acquisitions, marginal ones. I'll update, but I won't go totally in depth on them. So yeah, I'll be back for the next win. All right, and we beat the Raiders 24-14. We land on RB. There we go. We got our 4th win of the season, beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we will be taking their best O-lineman. We'll take that. We'll bolster up that line. I don't know why I wasn't more excited. We probably had the greatest pickup in this entire simulation. We get Tristan Wirfs, Barton, and Mausch. Now our O-line looks absolutely stacked. So if we don't win games now, I don't know what's going to get us to win games. Actually, I do know. We need a better running back core and some better receivers. But aside from that, our offense looks stacked. All right, we roll off another win against the 49ers. Let's see who we steal from their squad. Or safeties. Maybe they have something there. I'll move them over. And with that move, we picked up Hufanga to shore up that strong safety spot. Really excited about that. And then we got this Ross guy auto-generated, but hidden dev 77 overall. So boosting our safety core for sure. All right, at the end of season 5, we are 5-12. Not where we want to be, but I think these stats are going to show that next year, I know I said this last year, but next year really feels like when we're going to break out. So Callahan with a decent season, 4,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, really good completion percentage, but got to get those picks down. But if he can get those picks down, he's going to be an MVP conversation. Still, a running game is just absolute garbage. We really need either a running back or a receiver. Alec Pierce, 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns. Damn. Threw a lot of touchdowns this season. Our receiving core seems to be decent, almost 3,000 yard guys. Definitely, in terms of overall, we need a boost there. And defensively, I did see that Abdul Carter kind of had a breakout season. Yeah, 16.5 sacks. Definitely adding Derek Brown did a lot for that defense. Stats look good, but record doesn't necessarily show it, which is why I think next year is our year. Let's check out yearly awards. Caleb Williams, MVP, let's go. Love to see that. NFC Rome Offense Player of the Year, that's also super sick. Anyone up from Art? Alex Pierce, 8th in Offensive Player of the Year. Huge for us. No one else for any awards. End of season 5, awesome stats are finally coming around in terms of individuals. So I really think next year's our year. We are an 89 overall. So I think next year's the year we make that jump and get out of this under 500 slump we're in. All right, so this is what the roster looks like going into year 6. I didn't cover the draft because we didn't really get much significant in there. I think we did pick up a linebacker. I can't remember where, but he's not really going to start for us. But offense is looking great. That line is looking beautiful. All we need, I feel like, on offense is maybe an upgrade at running back, but definitely on wide receivers. A superstar level wide receiver would be huge for us as all of them continue to grow. On defense, probably linebackers again, maybe free safety, but I think really the focus should be linebacker for defense. Otherwise, our defense looks pretty nasty. So yeah, I'll see y'all when we start winning some games in year 6, hopefully. All right, going into next season, we are a 89 overall, one of the best teams in the league at this point. Pretty stacked roster. We got a really good offensive line, tight end set forever. I think we do need to pick up a wide receiver at some point. We got our QB. Hopefully we got our QB. Maybe a running back pickup as well. Our defense looks solid. Could use some boosts could use some star power boosts all around, but at least the D-line and the corners look really solid. The whole secondary is solid. I think just the linebackers need a little bit more work. Like I said earlier, I will get back to y'all with the significant signings, with more marginal ones. I'll quickly breeze over them, but as we start to win more games, I don't want this to drag super long. But yeah, I'll be back in a bit. We did indeed beat the Packers, so let's see what we get. Linebackers, perfect. That's exactly what we needed. So these signings were anything but marginal. We picked up Edgerrin Cooper and this Drummond guy. I'm going to move that Drummond into the second spot. There we go. We picked up Edgerrin Cooper and this Drummond guy, as well as Quay Walker. So now our linebacker core got a huge boost. Our defense looks absolutely nasty now. There we go. We got another win against the Falcons, 30-24. Let's check out what position we're taking. So we got corners. I'll let you know which corners we pick up. All right, after adding them to the team, our cornerback room is nasty now. We got J.C. Horn, McKinstry, and added A.J. Terrell and Jordan Hancock, as well as Chris Shepard. So our cornerback room goes 5 deep. Crazy. Here we go, starting to rattle off some wins. We just beat the Buffalo Bills. Time to spin the wheel to see what we could steal from them as well. Josh Allen would just be icing on the cake. Quarterback. No way. Okay, if Josh Allen is still on the roster, I don't care how old he is. We might have just won the chip right here. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Josh Allen. on the squad. I think we may have just won the chip here. 96 overall. He is like 32, 33 years old, but who cares? It's Josh freaking Allen. If we were stacking up wins with, I forget his name, I'm so sorry, but homeboy 85 overall, Josh Allen's gonna absolutely dominate. I say that and we lost our first game after getting him, but anyways, we beat the Chicago Bears 42-28. So time to spin the wheel to see what we're taking. I don't know how this roster could really get much better, but we'll see. Picking up cornerbacks. Our cornerback room might be the best anyone's ever seen. This is getting ridiculous at this point. This might be the most loaded position group I've ever seen. J.C. Horn, Kool-Aid, Jalen Johnson is your third corner, A.J. Terrell, Harrington, Kyler Gordon. No one is passing on us. We beat the Minnesota Vikings. What will we be taking? Oops. There we go. Will we be taking wide receiver? No way. Well, I found a way to make this team even better. Holy. How do you make this team better? Well, maybe surround Josh Allen by the greatest wide receiver core you have ever seen. We got Justin Jefferson, this Noel auto-generated guy, even got Jordan Addison. Thanks, Alec Pierce, for holding it down. But don't forget about Brock Bowers. This offense is ridiculous. And there we go. We beat the Panthers once again. There we go. We beat the Falcons. I don't know how we lost to the Bucks, but let's see what we get from the Falcons here. Just can't do cornerbacks. QB. We went ahead and picked up J.J. McCarthy from the Falcons and the Dolphins. Let's see who we get from the Dolphins. At this point, I'm kind of just thinking defense or running back. Look at us. We're 94 overall. Crazy. D-line, I don't even think there's much to upgrade, but we'll see. From the Dolphins, we picked up a backup right end. 82 overall auto-generated guy just for some depth. There wasn't much there on the O-line or that D-line besides a 35-year-old Trey Hendrickson. So we're going to leave that be and keep the roster as is. And we took down the New York Jets. Let's quickly see what we pick up and see if it's worth it. I feel like it's fair to deny a steal here. Safety, actually a position that we do need. So let's check this out. All right, from the Jets, we just picked up a backup safety. There wasn't really much that we wanted there. See how many wins we could stack up and make a playoff push, because this is a Super Bowl team no matter what. With this offense, there should be no team in the league that could stop us. Pick up win number 10 on the season against the Pats. Running back, wide receivers. I really don't think we need wide receivers, but let's check it out and see if there are any that are worth taking. Sorry, I didn't put the wheel up. Here's the wheel. And even like 6 years into the future, the Pats still can't find receivers for Drake May. You just hate to see it. We're going to pass on these. We absolutely dominate the Cardinals 42-13. Let's see what we get. A running back, if they have a good one, that'd be really nice. But that's really all we need. Receivers again. All right. Oh, sorry, I forgot the wheel again. But wide receivers, tight ends. Let's see what they got. I mean, we might as well pick up Marvin Harrison Jr., Chris Olave, and Trey McBride. Why not? We're just really collecting all the Infinity Stones for Josh Allen. We got the best tight end room in the league. Brock Bowers, Trey McBride. Got Justin Jefferson, Noel, Addison, and Marvin Harrison, and Chris Olave, and shout out Alec Pierce down there. Holy, this 3 X-Factor receivers, 2 superstar linemen. Josh Allen has absolutely everything to work with. This offense is ridiculous. And shout out to this defense too, holding it down. Probably the best cornerback room too in the league. It's crazy. Shout out to the Panthers for just hanging in there. 42-27. We're not going to take anything from them. And we finish off the season with a win over the Commanders. Let's see who we get. And we pick up the last position that we need, running back. Well, let's hope that they have someone good. Let's check it out. And this was probably the worst possible position to get. They have Cam Scatabo, but Jalen Wright, RB1. Yeah, we're not going to touch this. And we finally get a look at the playoff bracket, us going all the way up to the 1 seed, getting the bye. Got the Eagles, Packers, Seahawks on our side. Got the Colts with Ashton Genty as the 1 seed on the AFC side. So yeah, I'll be back with our round 2 matchup. Here's our roster going into our first playoff matchup, our second round matchup against the Detroit Lions. Absolutely ridiculously stacked offense, and our defense holding it down as usual. Rock solid, insane cornerback room. Forget about that when you see that receiving core, but that cornerback room is just as good. Solid everywhere else too. Here's some end of season stats. Josh Allen, by far the best player in the league. 4,900 yards, 48 touchdowns, 9 picks, crazy efficiency at 75. It was not surprising with this crazy receiving core. No way Alec Pierce still led our team. Alec Pierce leading a team with Justin Jefferson, Chris Olave, Noel Harrison. I guess we did trade for them midseason, so that makes sense. But having 3 guys over 1,000 yards and 2 of them almost over 1,500, and almost 2 guys with 20 touchdowns, 21 touchdowns Jefferson, 17 for Pierce. Absolutely ridiculous season. Rushing wise, Brooks, solid, really bad yards per carry. We still have never been able to get a good rushing attack. 9 touchdowns, Josh Allen, 400 on the ground. Not bad. And defensively, we got Abdul Carter, 14 sacks, Brees with 6.5, Fulton with 5.5, all the way down the list. Really good defense across the board. Interception-wise, J.C. Horn, been here since the first win. Shout out to him. 3 picks, a lot of picks across the board. This defense looked dominant. Offense, number 1 offense in the league. Defensively, we were actually middle of the pack total yards-wise. Sack-wise, we were around top 10, and interceptions around middle of the pack. So solid defense, but when paired with that offense, it's just, you don't have to, you could be one of the worst defenses in the league and this team will still be dominant. Just to look at the stats in regards to the whole league, Josh Allen leading the league in pretty much everything. Ashton Genty dominating the league, who's surprised. Receiving wise, Rome Odunze leading the league in receiving. Alec Pierce 3rd and Justin Jefferson 4th. So we got a massive share of the pie out of that top 5 wide receiver yardage. Without further ado, let's sim that Lions game. Looks like we are good to go. 24-14, and we kneel it out to win 24-14 in the divisional round. Just a quick stat check here. Josh Allen, not the best game, efficient as always, but only 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 271 yards, still a decent game. Not able to get much on the ground, but it looks like defensively we dominated. Maybe not dominated, but held it down. I almost forgot. We got a Tega player from the Lions. Let's see. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Safeties. Let's see what we get. And now looking at the Lions, I was like, how much can we get better? Well, we could get a lot better. Kirby Joseph, 96 overall. Brian Branch, 92 overall. I don't know what this team's going to be lacking in at this point. Our defense now is becoming also ridiculous. All right, here's a look at our team now with the additions of Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, 90 and 94 overall. I might have mixed up the positions by accident. My bad if I did, but this defense is just electric now. All right, I will see y'all in the NFC Championship game, where we will be going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Moving on to the second, we respond with a touchdown, 14-10, 21-10 going into halftime. Huge lead going into the third quarter. Not huge lead, but huge result to be up by 11 going into the third. Up 18 in the third quarter going into the fourth. And going through the fourth, we're up by 15, 2-score game. They make it close. We put the nail in the coffin. 35-20 is the finish in the NFC Championship. Josh Allen over Jalen Hurts. Let's look at these stats. Josh Allen, 327 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Definitely outdueling Jalen Hurts, who didn't have a bad game himself. Saquon, that was the key. Held Saquon to 55 yards rushing. We still can't run the ball with Jonathan Brooks. Receiving, Addison with 3 touchdowns. Huge. Awesome game from the boys here. Carter with 2 sacks. Now we are on to the Super Bowl. But first, let's see who we're taking from the Eagles. So we got O-line, probably the best thing we could possibly get from the Eagles. Their O-line actually turned out to be not super impressive, but we did decide to pluck Jordan Mailata off the roster. So this O-line is crazy. I might move Fuaga up to either guard or center, probably one of the guard spots, but this will be like 90s across the board on the O-line. Ridiculous. One last look at the squad for the Super Bowl. Squad's been through a lot. J.C. Horn has been through it all. Ever since that first win, he's been with us, so shout out to the boys. So here's the Pro Bowl roster for all those interested. Bryce Young, shout out. Ashton Jeanty. Here's the rest of the roster. None of us, because we are in the Super Bowl, baby. We got the Kansas City Chiefs, and that achievement down there is telling me MVP. So let's check out these yearly awards. Josh Allen, no question, MVP. That dude's just been balling. Third in offensive player, Justin Jefferson second. Got a bunch of receivers on here. And here are the rest of the awards. There we go. Let's go play a Super Bowl. Like 96 overall roster versus the Chiefs, who are, I think, a 90 overall. This is going to be a battle, but I think we got it. This offense is just too stacked. And I mean, defense too. I give a lot to the offense, but the defense is just as stacked. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl for once. Let's get it. We finish off the half down 10-14. Low scoring half, defensive battle. See if we could put it on the second half. And we take the lead 17-14, tied 17-17. 5 minutes left on the clock. We are up by 7 with Mahomes driving on the 25-yard line. But this is a huge play at this part in the game. I just realized the Chiefs were 9-8, and they get the first down on 4th and 2 up the middle with Pacheco. Wasn't working all game, but they got it to work there. Obvious go for it territory, like I said. Defense just needs to hold up big in the red zone. Oh, and that's caught in the back of the end zone. What a dart. All right, we get back here after a 1-yard bad run. See if Chiefs tied it up with 2 minutes left. Let's see what Josh could do. Play action. Breaks a sack. Wide. Oh, what a dart to Bowers on the sideline. Huge play out of bounds. They're all wearing crazy numbers. Ooh, nice run here. Oh my gosh, Jonathan Brooks with a huge run down to the 9. Looks like another run that goes nowhere, but that should burn the clock all the way down to about 20-ish seconds left. "23 seconds left in Super Bowl." I don't even know what number it is. I'm not going to try. But in the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes, 20 seconds left. Can the defense hold on late? Drops back to pass. Pass rush coming in. He throws it short. And that's it. We win. We did it. Let's go. And there we go. All it took was 6 seasons. 6 seasons to win a Super Bowl after starting with a 70 overall roster. Yeah, put a ring on that finger. Awesome. Love it. There we go. Trophy presentation. After stealing a player position group after every win, it only took us 6 seasons, 5 awful seasons before we got this crazy roster. There we go. Josh Allen with an awesome Super Bowl performance. 28 of 32, 338, 2 touchdowns and a pick. We'll forgive him. Jonathan Brooks, terrible game, but a big run to seal that field goal at the end. Receiving, J.J. Noel, 48, but Jordan Addison, 116 yards and a touchdown. Really spread the ball out. Our guy, Derek Brown, with 2 sacks. Brian Brees, who's been here the entire rebuild, here for a ring. Love to see it. That'll do it for this simulation. Started off with a 70 overall and finished with a 95 overall. After every win, we got to steal a position group using our trusty wheel over there. This is our final roster. Crazy to see what it got to after what we started out with. Just ridiculous guys out here. Receiving core, 87 being our 6th wide receiver, picked up Josh Allen. That was the turning point. That was where we won, truly. Offensive line stacked, Bowers, McBride, shout out CSU, go Rams. And then defensively, pass rush, D-line, awesome. Amazing D-line. Our cornerback room, one of the craziest rooms I've seen, aside from our wide receiver room, just insane depth. Safeties towards the end, beating the Lions and getting Branch and Joseph was crazy. Getting all these linebackers, Quay Walker, Cooper from the Packers. That's our roster. Here's one last look at the defense and our offense. There we go. It's the end of the video. I really appreciate everyone watching. This one was a grind, not gonna lie. but I had a blast every minute of it. This one was so fun. I hope you guys enjoyed once again. Plenty more videos on the way to look forward to, so stay tuned. I appreciate y'all sticking with me. You guys are the best. Peace out.